Hi there, and welcome to this bonus case study. I just wanted to take this chance to go through these two listings and bring out some of the points that we've learned across all the different lessons that we've covered in the course. So here we have a listing. It's the same property, but listed with two different agents. The same price and different photos, but you can see it's exactly the same property. So what do we notice about the location? Well, the first thing is it's not the same location. It's not even the same postcode, Nerak and Arjun. So probably it's not in either of those towns, but it's going to be somewhere around there. So these are the two locations that are given. They're 30 minutes drive apart, 26 kilometres. So, not even that close, not sort of neighbouring towns or anything. So what can you do to try and find out more about where the location is? Well, are there any clues in the listing? Well, one of the listings says it's a 5-minute drive from Arjun, and the other says it's a 15-minute drive from Arjun. But we know that it's not either because we've just looked at the map and the one town is half an hour away. But it's probably somewhere in that kind of range. So what can you do? Well, in this case, I looked up Arjun, and because it's a big property, it might even be a business. It kind of looks like it could be like a B&B or something like that. So I looked around Arjun on Google Maps, and then I searched for Chateau. I clicked around a few of the things that came up, and there we go. I found it right there. That's definitely the same property. So what can we do with that information? Well, what else do we know about the listing? We know that it's listed with at least two agencies, so that means that it can't be an exclusive listing. That means the owner could sell directly. So, even though we haven't found this listed on an FSBO site, we haven't seen that the owner is listing it directly themselves, we can still contact them. They might be interested in doing a private viewing, particularly if it's a B&B or something. You could even stay there. But there's a business, there's a website, there'll be an email. So you could choose to email them directly and try and save yourself some money on the fees if you wanted to. What else do we see in the listing? Well, there's the property description there. It's the same property, and in one listing they've described it as a manoir, and in the other they've described it as a chateau. So you can see with these keyword searches, it doesn't always come up with everything because people will choose different things to describe them as. There's actually like no definition in France of what meets the criteria of being a chateau. So they can get called different things. What about the fees? So this is the same property, exactly the same property, and on the left we see that there is a vendor mandate in place, and on the right we see that there is a seller mandate in place. You can see that the fees are split out in the example on the right and not on the left because there are these two different mandates that we talked about previously. Exactly the same price, and you can see the fees are included, but again, this is one of those times where if you were choosing which button to press or which agent to go with, you might have a preference for the vendor mandate because then you don't run into the potential risk of future capital gains being an issue or anything like that. So that might be a reason in this case why you'd push that button rather than the other button. What about the DPE? Well, we can see it's a C. So for an old property like this to be a C, it must have been renovated pretty well and fairly recently, I would say. And then we see on the left, it doesn't have the date of the DPE, but on the right, it does have the date of the DPE. So August last year, not been on the market for that long for France, so you might be thinking there isn't much room for negotiation, maybe. Interesting to know. Well, in this case, I did look around a little bit more, and I found the listing on a different site, on Figaro. And on this Figaro site, it shows there's been a massive price drop. That would be surprising if it was only listed in August last year, unless the owner has really needs to sell quickly for some reason. What it could mean, though, in this case, is that the DPE has been redone. So for all DPEs before a certain date, they had to get redone last year. So it might have been for sale for so long that they had to get a brand new DP last year. That would make sense to me with such a big price reduction. So there might be some more room to negotiate after all. So to recap, in this example, we looked at multiple listings, agency fees, the location, we found the owner so you could contact them directly, we saw the DPE, we saw what it meant for potential renovation, we saw what it meant for the date. There's lots of things here in this example that we've covered on the course, and I hope it's helped bring it all together for you. I really hope you found the course useful and learnt a lot, and you feel more confident in your search, and you found some different ways to search, some different techniques, and I really hope it helps you find your perfect property in France.